We lose some of the use of our property, and we don't think that's right, that especially now with eminent domain, that a private company can come in, take our property away from us, give us very little in compensation. We could stand to possibly lose our home here, possibly our barn, which I'm standing in on my property. This was a former hayfield when we bought the property in 1996. It had not been cut for at least 1 year, so it's been starting to grow back, getting a little wild, which is the way I like it. So I did some research on finding plants which were native to Wood County, purchased seeds, and planted those in the fall of 2007. 10 years later, it's a beautiful prairie full of a lot of native plants, and we just get a lot of enjoyment out here. Another thing I like to do is I'm a big birder. I really enjoy birding, and just standing here, I can hear lots of birds singing. There's an indigo bunting there. We've got at least 3 of them in the area. You can hear singing basically all day long, every day, for months on end. I hear chipping sparrow in my neighbor's yard. There's goldfinches flying over. Song sparrows are singing. And if you just stand here, you can name off probably 10 or 12 different birds. I see a phoebe flying by. And so there's just a lot of wildlife, and we enjoy that. We've got concerns about safety. Just several years ago, we had a small spill, which was basically about 42 gallons, which is 1 barrel of oil, just on my neighbor's property. And that resulted in one other neighbor having to move, because this is a very large dairy industry. If one of those spills were to occur on one of our neighboring farmers' properties, it could possibly affect their livelihood. With tainting the milk, they probably wouldn't be able to sell that. And Enbridge is, they say they've got a very good safety record. In this area, they've had a fair amount of spills, and that's where some of these spills can happen. These pipes settle over time; they get punctured by a rock or something else, and so it creates quite a problem. And in addition to that, it also affects our property values. People hear that there's been a spill. It's not very conducive to wanting to move into a home if they know that happened. It could happen again in the future. So that's one thing that's always on our mind is, when is the next leak going to occur? Where will it occur? Is it going to affect us? I talked with the engineering firm when they were taking the monitoring wells out, and he told me it was one of the most difficult cleanups he had ever been associated with, because underneath the ground here it's very fractured sandstone. And he said normally, you know, the oil will flow downhill, but here the bedrock is so fractured it could flow in any direction. People don't have control over their own property anymore. It's basically controlled by Enbridge. They dictate what you can do with it, what you cannot do with it. There is no annual payment of any sort that we get. It's just a one-time payment, and including when the easements come through. Enbridge is not very generous with their offers either. And that's another reason we started WHEAT, was to get people to band together and hopefully have more clout working together as a group instead of individuals having to work with Enbridge on their own to try and secure better terms if and when this new pipeline has to come through.